Hi, everyone. So I've been busy. I made this. It's taken me forever, but I made it, and it started out to be a collage, and it ended up with some paint, and then it's a lot of iterations. Want to join me? Want to watch me make this? Okay. Guys, I just checked in with the treasurer, and he doesn't need me for anything today, which means I can do whatever I want, which means I'm going to play around in here with you guys, because last night I dug out my big giant sketchbook, and I was on a roll. I was like almost every day I was doing something, and I was doing something big. Look at the size of these pages. What is this thing? 92 cents or something like that. Almost 16 by almost 11. So I got the urge the other day. I opened it up and I saw this, and I got the urge to, it's too hard to piece into something like this, but the background is definitely pieced, and it's pieced randomly, which is what I also did with the back of this. So today what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover these two pages with random scraps of, let me stretch, this is torn, random scraps of paper. And then I'm going to draw over them with, I don't know, Sharpie magic marker or something like that. Let me get back to show you. I want to play around with the concept of this, but with different papers, just to get in my sketchbook again. So if you'd like to hang around with me while I do that, I'll be happy to have you. So I have matte gel medium, which I probably am choosing for this as opposed to liquid because I don't want to buckle these pages overly much. And this is already backed with something, so this will withstand it. So that's what I'm going to start doing. I'm just going to start with the 3 pages on the back because they came out of the printer jammed, and they're not in good repair. So you are going to notice that as much as possible, I am going to be completely unself-conscious about this. When I glue them down, I just glue them down because I've found the less practiced I am with this stuff, the more something it is. And I don't know what that something is. The more better. All right, let's see what I've got. Let's see if I've got enough. I'm not even going to try to, I want to get a little bit of color in there. Let's go with that. Yeah, I had my scanner sitting on top of my printer, jamming up my printer. All my pages came out mangled. Okay, so I'll probably do a little bit of real time now and then fade through because you can only watch me glue so many things down. We'll just get this. I just want to get this thing covered and then give it a chance to dry. The only tool I'm going to really need is this brush and this. I already love that. I already love it. I already think it's adorable. Okay. So I have been honestly having such a good time. I have been working on a project, a design project for myself and for any of you that are interested. And it has caused me to discover a new direction. It's not a new direction. What it is, it's a combination of the old me and the new me. And it's like my art 2.0. Any of you who have followed me for a while, and I know I lost people's attention when I got involved in the digital stuff, but whatever. Not everybody's going to love me all the time. But anyways, I've been looking for my style, my personal artistic style. I've developed a digital style years ago that people recognized, and some people even used to say on Polyvore that they knew it was me before they saw my name, which I think is a very high compliment. But in the physical world, I don't feel like I have developed a particular look. I do have probably a color sensibility that I've developed mostly with you guys, because, you know, I only ever worked with color on a computer, which can give you a million cajillion alternatives. And it's the touch of a button to, you know, to change it or fix it, or Command Z. Control Z is a shortcut that means undo what I just did. Gosh, in life I have wished. In life I have wished for Command Z, because I've gotten so accustomed to what it can do for me in art. So in my last couple of videos, I randomly gel printed on some of these digital papers. Just history. Some of you know this, just bear with me. History is that I started out as a digital artist long before, well, while I was in business, but long before I'd ever done any gel printing or any of that kind of stuff that you know, that people come for. And that work has been sitting in folders on the computer for, you know, decades. Well, almost decades. A decade and a lot of change. Nobody sees it. Occasionally I'll look at it. I put a bunch of it on products on Redbubble. What Redbubble is. Yeah, it was a lot of work getting it up there, but nobody buys from it because I don't market it, and there's a million cajillion other creators on it. So I've got this library of stuff that I'm pulling together for you guys who want to make art and are looking for a way in. Buying printables it's an easy way to get started, because you start to learn your design sense from the design sense of the people whose art you use. Then a couple of days ago, I was looking for something to do, and I ended up gel printing over some of these prints. It was like hearing music in the heavens. The first couple of prints I pulled, I was like, what? What is happening here? I gotta tell you, I was pretty damn excited. I still am. I pick up those papers. I printed probably more than 30 of them, and I fondle them. I hold them and turn them over and look at them this way and that way, because, you know, I've been searching for me through, you know, Rex Ray, Mark Hurld, Charlotte Wensley, Judy Woods, you know, all of these people. I've been watching them and trying to learn from them, when all along I was sitting on a big pile of me with its hand over its mouth, and here we are. These were all too beige. So I'm going to use these papers in my art because they are my art. And I have to tell you how excited I am about it, because if I can teach myself to be an artist when I never thought I would be one, maybe I could show you guys that want to learn, that don't know how. Maybe I could show you something that would get you excited about who you are as an artist. Hold on, that is a glop of paint. I feel like I'm going to shake these up with some more colors. Okay, what else do I have? I'm going to take some of this, which is not soaking wet, and drop it in here. So the plan is I'm going to paint over this. I'm going to let this dry, and then I'm going to paint over it, because I've got this idea in my mind about masks, which I did in one of my most recent videos. And they really have my attention because something happened when I gel printed over these early papers. It's like my head went kaboom. Kaboom. Oh, those are pretty little additions to that page. This is just a sketchbook. I was so excited about my sketchbook, and then I got lost. Well, I got lost with personal responsibilities. Personal responsibilities almost buried me, but here I am. I'm back again. And you know what? I'm the president of my co-op, which means I'm in charge of running a crew. And the crew, everybody has their own jobs. And they all know what to do. So I don't even know why they need me, because they all know exactly what to do. But my term is up at our next meeting. And I am going to, I'm not going to retire because I don't know how to say no. What I'm going to do is become the interim secretary. I am going to serve as secretary until we can get, well, the length. The length of time is for 1 year, not longer. Because I like the people who want to keep going, and I'm willing to serve them. Because to be honest with you, I'm not very happy with the people that live here right now. All right, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to let this dry. Probably go get my hair dryer. And then we'll plan. Then we'll figure out the next part of our plan. Okay, it took a little while for this to dry. It's cold outside, sunny, cold. It's not completely dry, but it's dry enough. Dry enough for our purposes. I think I'm going to do something quick and give it a little sand. There's several layers on it. It's easier to glue over. I don't have things sticking up. All right, so I've got two things that I'm thinking about. One of them is back here, something of this nature, but I'm not confident that I won't make exactly the same thing if I do, you know, I drew lines. I don't know if you can even see them, but I drew lines that carried across and then lines that came up and down, and I ended up making these vases. So I'll tell you what I'm thinking about now, but I'm only thinking about it. So let's go over it together and find out if it's a thing. So I have these. These are masks. You cannot see both. Hold on. Move that out of the way. These are masks. What these are is what's left over after I cut out some alphabets. Okay, cut out, save the letters, and who knows where they are. That's MIA. Yeah, some of these have been painted with, some of them haven't. And I'm really curious to see, these are the masks that I was looking for the other day when I was doing my latest gel printing series. I was on a mission to find these things to no avail. Okay, I'm going to use an acrylic mat right next to me as a palette, which you won't be able to see because I'll have to crop it out. This is going to make shapes that look like the letters. All right, this is where I get turned around with this process. Maybe I can take these things and somehow connect them to things. So that they look like windows instead of doors. When I used to design with stamps for pottery, I always had to work in black and white. And I had to be clear what was going to be paint and what was going to be plate. It was a challenge to keep it straight. And sometimes I would make my stamps backward. And I wouldn't know until Nicole would paint with it and say, "Is this what you were trying to do?" So what do these shapes, don't know what they indicate. That's like a whole window right there. I'm going to leave that alone for a minute. Oh, that's a pretty little window, right? That little window. That's a pretty little thing. Let's see if I can do something similar down here. Feels like I need to let this dry for a little while and then come over it again to make these windows more sparkly. Be back. So I went away for a while, but I'm back again. And while I was away, I started just doodling here. I drew a little frame around that. I like alphabets. Since I was a kid, I have drawn and written alphabets over and over and over again. I have a whole bunch of fonts that I've drawn in Procreate. So what I want to do now, but I don't know if I can do it on camera because of my vision, I want to fill up some of this stuff. I just think that this would be really fun, torn up and worked with after. I want to work on some alphabets, and I'll do it quietly because it'll be, I'll have to speed through it. But I hope I hope I can work it out with my head. So I'll start down here. So when I was in the Navy, when you're 19 years old and you join the Navy and you won't go to school because you don't want to wreck your fingernails, they stick you in an office at air operations and pretty much ignore you for hours. So I sat at a desk with my back to everyone in the room and drew alphabets and wrote letters all day long. In circles, in squares, backwards. My mother has saved all of my letters from boot camp, and I have not seen them, but I think I'm going to really enjoy it. Losing my track of my alphabet, telling stories. So one of the things that I did on my last go-round with alphabets was I colored in parts of obvious parts, you know, like the filled in stuff. Color those in. But I also, hold on, apparently I need to concentrate because I'm starting to write wrong letters. Like they were vessels, like this W would be all, you know, the X, the top and the bottom would be, I'll show you. Hi everyone. So I started this spread in my sketchbook a couple months ago. Never finished it. So I've done that since. I did that recently. And now I'm going back a couple of pages to this. I just didn't know where it was going to go. But I've really been enjoying the negative painting. That has been a challenge and an inspiration. So I'm thinking what I might want to do, there's some very large blank areas in here. I think I might want to, I'm going to add some papers to this so that I don't turn this into a big project. I just pulled out 3 things that have some warm stuff. And I'm going to just tear a few things up and glue them down. And see how it might fill in some of the blanks. It's a Sunday afternoon in New Hampshire, and we have a storm dancing across the state right now, making a very big racket. I personally am not frightened by storms, but several of my neighbors are. And they get very annoyed with me when I don't take some of our storm warnings seriously. One of the things we had just a few days ago that caused one of my neighbors and my mom to be hysterical was a tornado warning. This is New Hampshire. We might get tornado warnings, but nothing comes of it. It's not, we're not in any kind of danger here. I think we have had microbursts, just, you know, like any state in the Union. Every once in a while, especially with the weather manipulation that goes on. Every once in a while it gets a little interesting out there. I'm just taking some papers and just gluing them down over some maybe larger areas of just large areas of color. And then I'll let this dry a little bit. I want to keep this background a little less hysterical than my last one, which was, if you don't know what I'm talking about, my last video, it lasted forever. It lasted forever. I thought I was never going to finish that. And I did. But it took the longest time to get that done. Where is my favorite tool? Princeton Catalyst Wedge, favorite tool. All right, what else do I have that will be interesting to add to this? I don't know if you can hear it. It's booming. Whatever's going on out there is booming across the state. To tell you what I'm up to right now is I am not trying hard to do anything other than just to get a couple of not red things down here. Because when you do negative painting, just slices show. You don't have to be careful. You don't have to be careful about anything. So probably what I'll do with this next, get my hairdryer out, because can't put it out in the sun because there is no sun. Because warning, warning. I made the mistake of telling somebody who called me up, upset about tornado warnings, that I would, oh good, I'll wear my red shoes. It was, they were not very impressed with me. So it's kind of dark in here to my eyes, but I think it's probably just, I think the light is better than I think it is. All right, so I'm going to do this. I'm going to go get my hairdryer. I'm going to give this a blow dry. And then I'm going to draw overall designs on this. I think this is pretty dry. We'll find out because my Sharpies do not like it when things are not dry. What I have is just a regular Sharpie. And I'm going to, hopefully it'll show up enough on this so that I can, I'm just going to do similar to this, just an all over flower pattern. Let's see what happens here. Can you even see this? I'm going to need something else. I found out from my last video that even though I think my head is not in the camera. I can't even tell you how much I had to edit out of my last video because this is a new behavior for my camera. Now my camera has decided that if even a little bit of my head is, it's probably doing it again, even if a little bit of my head is showing, it's going to focus on the gray hairs in the top of my head and make everything that you could potentially see out of focus. It's very fun. All right, so there's a giant flower. Pretty predictable. Let's do something like this. All right, these are not happy. See, the problem with Sharpie is they are very happy if everything is dry. But if everything is even slightly wet, it's a big NO. Since I used my hair dryer, it's still slightly wet. We'll just do the best we can. I think part of what's so much fun about doing this is that I just don't know what I'm going to end up with. You cannot see that with anybody's eyes. That's a leaf. That's a flower. And that's a leaf. Let me see if I have any more that'll write. Might be time to go back, buy a new supply. Okay. I know you can't see what I'm doing, but you'll be able to see once I start painting everything white. Oh, this appears to have some life in it. And even as weird as these little leaves are right now, they'll even get weirder. There's a flower. Okay. Let's do, I don't know. I watch some artists that are doing some wicked fancy stuff with this type of negative painting. They're doing really sophisticated images and stuff. I do not know. I do not know how they are doing that. Okay, there's a flower there. This is upside down. Let's bring a thing here. Leaf, upside down leaf, flower. I know it looks like chaos, guys. Once I start painting it, it might, it might make more sense. Let's see. Okay, get those out of there. Put them right in the trash can, because once they die, they are dead forever. When I laugh like that, it's because I'm embarrassed. I'm embarrassed. I don't have any idea what is happening. Okay. I'm going to continue to use my house paint, although it occurred to me that maybe I should try something like my regular paint supplies. So I'm going to use that. There's my palette. Yeah. I've got a paintbrush. Yeah, you can't see this here. A regular paintbrush that looks like that. One that's probably too big with an angle, but I really like the angle. And let's give that one a try, that little flat square thing. These all have names. I don't know what they are. So, Behr acrylic paint. from Home Depot. Where shall I begin? I'm going to try to do this without my head, which I'm sure you guys are tired of hearing me saying it, but you'd have no idea how much footage I've lost because of my head. Okay, there was a lot of it, a lot of footage in the last one that got lost, but you know what? It ended up working out okay because I could actually see what I was doing. Needed to get my face close. Just go straight up the top there. I think probably what I'm going to do, because I really complicate editing and making a 5-hour-long video really long by talking. I'm just going to go quiet for a little while so I can get some shapes drawn. I'll be back. Okay, so there's a flower, there's a leaf. Something has gone wrong here. Let's see if I can't figure out how to fix it. We'll just, it'll work out. It'll all work out, because one of the things I found out is that I can significantly repair things when I use markers at the end. Look at how pretty this is right here. Look how pretty those colors are. Perhaps I will. Okay, this is a big, it's a big giant flower. Sure, E. Hold on. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to turn the camera off so I can get in here. I'll be right back. Okay, I got in those little corners. And now I can better see where I'm headed. This is a big giant. This flower has a giant head. That's going to need some extra lines in it. Maybe I'll put one of those. I'll put a bunch of like fork-looking petals, fork-looking petals on it. What's this? This is a giant. Okay, there's that. I might be able to get some extra shapes to break that up. Just a couple thoughts going through my mind. I went wacko bonko creating digital papers to the exclusion of everything else. And I have published almost all of them. But I've got a bunch more papers that are trying to pull together into groups that'll be happy together, which hasn't happened yet. And I started sending out emails, which I really don't enjoy doing. I don't like asking people to buy. That was my life with my business for a really long time. But anyways, I've got a bunch of new papers in the works, and I just need to balance my time between papers, videos, my secretary work, which is a million times easier than my presidential work, a million times. Oh, this is fun, guys. I don't know how much fun it is for you guys to watch it, although I have to tell you, when I'm editing these videos, I'm a little bit having fun watching myself paint. And as long as I find it interesting, I'm suspecting some of you might as well. Tell you what's fun about making those paper packs, though, is I've got to sort through many, many, many historical designs. I call them historic designs because it was part of my history, and I haven't used those papers in such a long time. It's very gratifying to see you guys. I can't wait to see. I wish I could see. I don't really have other social media. The only thing I really do is YouTube. I don't do Facebook anymore. I make people mad on Facebook. You guys might like hearing what I have to say, and I'll tell you, I do filter. There are a lot of people in my life that are real tired, real tired of hearing what I have to say. But I filter for you guys because, I don't know, because I'm not an idiot, I guess. And I have also alienated enough people. Yeah, I alienated enough people to realize that not every thought that pops into my head needs to come out of my mouth. Wisdom, guys. I'm developing some wisdom. I do have Instagram, guys, and I appreciate that you guys go on there and leave me messages and stuff, but you probably won't hear from me on Instagram. It doesn't occur to me to go on to it. And every time I do, I'm so far removed from the control panel that I don't know what I'm doing. I lost a lot of friends. I lost a lot of people on Facebook. And I've had a friend reach out to me recently that I haven't really seen since Neil died in 2012. And she's expressed interest in getting back together, getting together. And I'm afraid to. I'm afraid I'm afraid. I don't know how to hold myself in. Some of my opinions are so unpopular, and so many people have unfriended me that I'm afraid to see her because I'm afraid she won't like me either. I was different before 2020. I think I'm really going to like this. I haven't done anything with red for a long time. Okay, see this area right here? I need to get close to it, so I'll be back. Okay, let's see if I can include you guys. So the other day, my brother came over to the house with his guitar and his amp and microphone, and he wanted to make me some music for my channel. So he sat there playing the guitar and singing, and I worked on some new collages on your style. And I got all excited about it because I thought, oh, there wasn't anything finished. He wasn't able to record anything perfect enough, you know, without mistakes and stuff like that, for me to share with you guys. And he's like me. He doesn't want to, you know, he doesn't want to put something out there that's not his best work. So I got the idea the other day and I got very excited about it. I was like, oh, this is great. I'll just play it in the background, because it was basically me, he and I, just sitting there shooting the breeze, just talking about, you know, whatever, you know, just shooting the breeze. And I just thought, well, you know what, I'll play that in the background and you guys could hear us just talking. Well, I can't do that because the music he was playing is all cover music. It's all somebody else's music. And YouTube is persnickety about that. YouTube will, they call it striking your channel. They give you a copyright strike. And there are a lot of people doing cover music on YouTube. I don't know how they're doing it. All I know is that if I get a copyright strike, they will take my channel down. And to be honest with you, I don't think I have another one in me. I don't know that I can do this again. I'm going to have to get back to that in a minute. That part might need my, that might need my face laying. Oh, look at how pretty this is. This is so much fun. Let's see what we can do. This is going to be so pretty, and hopefully I don't have to spend a lot of time with magic markers on this, because these colors are beautiful. Yeah, so I got all excited on my last video, which you guys never heard, because as soon as it got started, I realized he was playing somebody else's music. If they strike your channel more than, I think you get like 2 strikes and you're out. 2 strikes and you're out. And they take your channel down and you don't get it back. I have had a couple people ask me about live. Just so you know, that scares the hell right out of me, and I'll tell you why. Because I don't have complete control over my tongue. And the reason I get away with not having complete control over my tongue is because I have iMovie and I edit myself. I get rid of things that I say that I was like, why did I say that? And you don't have that. You don't have the luxury of editing during live. And besides, what would we talk about? What would you guys want to talk about? Like, what would we do? I know a lot of the channels that I follow have started doing lives, and I know they were just as terrified as I am, but they did it anyways. I cannot imagine making art live, especially something like this, because you've heard my pauses. I can talk with long pauses in between while I keep my hand moving. I mean, I suppose what I could do, and even this is, you know, I can't promise that I will. I mean, I suppose we could have a live where you guys just ask me questions, submit questions, and I answer them. Or how about this? How about if you submit questions and I answer them on a video, not live? This is going to be so pretty. Look at this color in here. Anyways, you guys are very skilled commenters. If that is in any way something that you'd be interested in, let me know. Oh, another thought that I've been having, and I keep forgetting to bring it up. Had a couple questions about using the angel policy, which is how you are allowed to use the digital papers. I've had a couple people message me. A couple people wanted to know if they could buy the pack and frame some of the papers. And the answer is, as long as you are doing it for yourself or as a gift, you can do that. Permissions get complicated when you want to sell the work, because obviously I put a lot of work into making my art and, you know, want it to be treated with regard. So, you know how in the first couple of videos when I started playing around with these papers, I made a collage. I made collages only using the papers with no other artwork. People ask me if they can do that, and the answer is yes. You can, as long as it's for you. You can make it, you can hang it in your house, you could give it to a friend. You just can't sell it. So I hope that helps. I'm really enjoying this. These colors are very pretty. There's a couple of little areas. You get in here. Let me use this skinny brush to get right there. One thing I'm going to do, this big blob there, possibly this, I'm going to try to draw some little, let me get this thing right. Maybe get this next to these old eyes of mine. Let's try this. Oh, that's going to be fun to color in. Let's see what we can do. Let's get into these little corners first. I need to get my eyes closer to that to see if I made a mistake or I did a good thing. Hold on. That looks a little predictable, but all right. So I'm going to contemplate BRB. This is freaking cute. Okay, I personally feel like I'm going to want, this is not the end of this for me. I feel like I'm going to want to, this feels like a direction that I'm going to want to lean into, but I don't know how I'm going to include you guys in the process because it's not really that interesting to watch. But I would like to do this on a larger scale, which I've been talking about forever. I think I might be ready to call this. I've got plenty more detail work that needs to be done in terms of these little corners and stuff like that so that I can get a nice thick background on. But it's boring to watch unless I'm talking. Tomorrow is another day. I can take a look at this again tomorrow and decide whether or not I want to take out my Ohuhu markers and color in some of these things, maybe define them a little bit more. I really love this. I really like this, being able to see all of these different patterns in here, but maybe this would benefit from being defined a little bit more. Okay, I'm going to do that. I'm going to stop, but I think I'm coming back to color. Good morning, everyone. So I have been not doing art for the past couple of days, but I've got this finished thing that's just about ready to post. But what I'd like to do before I say goodbye to you all is just, I'd like to darken up some of these areas. I tested a little bit here, and I really like what it adds to it. I'm not ready to give up on this yet. So what I want to show you that I have is my Ohuhu markers, which came in a container that looks like this. They have different, I guess, colorways. This is called Honolulu. It's a brush and a chisel. It's 104 colors. This is a pain in the neck to put everything in and out of, so I ditched it. And I bought this little thing that was quite easy to put together, although it came with not a word of instructions. So the plan is I'm going to just color in some shapes here. Get this out of the way. And I have set my camera up so that it will be everything I can possibly do to get my head underneath it. But, no, I don't want that. I really do like the brushes. So this is a very pinkish color, which I don't love. Let's try something a little more orange. Ah, that makes me happy. And one of the things, this is an Ohuhu alcohol marker. And what I love about alcohol markers is that they do not, they come through the paper. Can I show you that? No, can't really show you. But they bleed through the paper, which is fine. I don't care because I'm usually doing collage. They don't reactivate with paint. Now, if any of you remember my last video, I was doing a very similar collage. It's really not a, I mean, it starts out to be a collage, but it ends up being a negative painting thing. And I could not make my white paint stay white because, because I was using water-based markers. And the water-based markers kept on activating every time I would hit it with the white acrylic paint. So what I love about what this does to the collage papers is they are still there. They're still there. You can still see all the textures and colors. So they don't reactivate. So if you're looking to keep everything a certain color, alcohol markers are the way to go if you're going to put white paint on top of them. And I do like how it keeps the color, although I'm not really trying to match it because Any of you who have ever worked with alcohol or water-based markers, the covers are kind of fake. They don't really tell you what the actual color of the marker is. It's really only about 5 or 6 colors that they just change the strength of. It's not, I mean, it may be 104 colors, but it's not. I'd like something pinker. Total crapshoot. This one says Valentine pink. Let's see what color it actually is. It's pink-ish. Not quite cool enough, but it'll do. So what I'm going to do, because watching somebody color can be painstakingly torturous, so I want to be able to speed it up, get it over with. So here I go. I'm going to go quiet. Okay, I'm coming to the bottom corner of what I want to color in on this. So I'm just going to start sending you some thoughts going through my mind as I'm quietly coloring here. So this collage has been, or this artwork started in April, and I avoided it for months because that's what I do when I don't know what to do with something. I just keep coming in and looking at it and waiting for it to tell me something, anything. This one was silently defiant for quite a while. But by the time I got to this one, I had started playing around with negative painting. So I wasn't quite as lost as earlier. I need something else for that. Hold on. Let's just try it and see what we get. We get a very light color. Sure, it'll darken it up, but not a lot. I really like the black and white. Oh, I can see some things, whatever I drew this with, whatever I wrote those alphabets with, it's starting to smear, but whatever. So this started out with just some of my digital collage papers, smearing, and some acrylic paint. This has got to be, maybe it's Sharpie that's smearing like this. Is it staining my brush? So you can see it's taken a lot of iterations. But what I want, some of you know these things that I'm getting ready to say, some of you may not. This is a sketchbook, and the sketchbook for me, which I learned from Helen Wells, is a way in. to trying new things that I wouldn't have the nerve to try if I were working on a canvas. Yeah, I just wouldn't have the nerve. I would be way too shy. So this sketchbook is just an old Reader's Digest map book that some people think is absolute sacrilege that I colored in, but I don't care. Anyways, if you're curious about the papers that I've used in here, they are digital art papers that I have listed on my website. And if you go to the description of the video, one of the first links will lead you to my website where all of my papers are listed. I released 7 packages the first release and possibly that many on the second release. They are downloadable papers that you can print and use in your own artwork with some limitations in terms of selling it. I don't care what you do with it if you're just going to keep it for yourself or give it away as gifts, but some limitations if you're going to try to sell stuff. And what I love is, look at this. I mean, even when I'm coloring in right now, you don't have to draw that. It's drawn. And once you tear it up, it's just a sweet little thing. It's just a sweet little thing that adds color to your piece. This has disappeared, so I'm going to color that in. So please check out my stuff. Please support my channel. So, I do everything that I can do. I get contacted all the time by people who want me to, they want me to do sponsored videos and sell you all kinds of stuff. I can't be bothered. It's not my style. It's not my style to sell other people's stuff. I don't even like selling my stuff, so never mind selling somebody else's stuff. So I avoid selling somebody else's stuff because I have my own art that I would like to share with people. So the way that you can support me without channel memberships, because there's not a lot of interest in that, and without donating money with the thanks button that YouTube takes 50% of, the way that you can help me out financially to buy art supplies to continue doing this kind of work is by supporting me by going on my website. I sell all kinds of fun stuff on there. And I don't talk about this stuff because, to be honest with you, I freaking hate selling stuff. Hate it. Hate asking people to buy my stuff. Nope, that's not what I wanted. I don't like selling my stuff. Why is that? Oh, I know why. Because I drew these little scallops. I drew. So now they're all dark. Same thing with those. That's gonna disappear. So help me out. Help me out with my art supplies. I want to keep this channel free. There's not a lot of interest in memberships, and I understand why, because everybody's got their hand down your pocket, right? Everybody has their hand in your pocket. I don't want to be one of them. But if you're going to buy art supplies, please consider mine. These papers can be integrated into your own practice. And you can create something lovely and possibly learn, that's pretty, possibly learn some sort of art technique for yourself by watching me try to figure out how to develop art techniques for myself. Yeah, let's just color that in and give it some shape. Okay, I believe I have come to the end. Let me get these out of the way. Give her a spin. Oh, this is wicked cute. There's a part of me that wants to get in here and wicked embellish this background, but that's not something I think I can do in camera because of the closeness of the vision. So anyways, my name is Cherie Burlington. I'm an artist, an errant, an angel mom, and I've been on YouTube for almost a year and a half, and I really appreciate your joining me. Please like and subscribe, and if you've got friends that would enjoy my work, tell them about it. And take a look at my website, cherieburlington.com, and if you go to downloads, you'll see all these fun papers that I'm working with. I appreciate you. Goodbye.